Cheltenham is a festival town. As well as racing, crowds are drawn to annual gatherings devoted to jazz, science, literature, and the Greenbelt Christian Festival that also takes place on the town's famous racecourse. And 2,000 years ago in Jerusalem, another festival crowd gathered, pilgrims preparing for the Jewish festival of Passover. As Jesus entered the city, people praised him by waving palm branches. Today, our congregation in All Saints Church sing their Palm Sunday songs of praise. And there's music from Libera, Mary Jess, and Only Men Allowed. And the Bible's accounts of key moments from Jesus last week are read by Julian Ryan-Tutt. Jesus chose a humble mount when he rode into Jerusalem, a donkey. Didn't stop the people acclaiming him though, as Mark's Gospel describes.
They brought the colt to Jesus and threw their cloaks on it, and he sat on it. Many people spread their cloaks on the road, and others spread leafy branches that they'd cut in the fields. Then those who went ahead and those who followed were shouting, "Hosanna! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord."
Jesus' entry into Jerusalem was the first act in 6 days of drama that was to lead to his crucifixion. Our first hymn powerfully captures the scene on Palm Sunday and the contrast within it. Jesus' meekness and majesty, his impending suffering and glory. The days between that first Palm Sunday and Good Friday encompass friendship and betrayal, selfishness and service. One of the most powerful images is that of Jesus, the Master, being a servant, washing the feet of his disciples at their last meal together.
After he had washed their feet, had put on his robe, and had returned to the table, he said to them, "If I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have set you an example, that you also should do as I have done to you."
Jesus' example of service is one that continues to inspire people. In Cheltenham, Ben Lilly runs a project called The Rock, providing challenging activities for young people, from urban street sports to essential life skills.
The Rock's, I guess, primary calling and purpose is to be a hands and feet ministry first and foremost. We come to serve and actually to kind of get down and into the mess of life with the people that we work with. We mainly work with young people, pre-16 mainly, and demonstrating signs of behavioural issues or struggles, and those who are actually already excluded from education. The young people that we work with at The Rock in many ways are similar to those that Jesus worked and walked with in his day. The tax collectors of their day were rejected, and the hoodies of our day are rejected. That extraordinary model of Jesus kneeling down and washing his disciples' feet, his everyday run-of-the-mill from the street disciples, that inspires us to work with everyday run-of-the-mill people who come into our building and we engage with. And actually the Bible's so clear when it said, go and do the same. I've given you an example. Go and do the same.
One of the times when Jesus most shows his human nature is in the Garden of Gethsemane. Facing a cruel and painful death, he prays to his Father that this cup of suffering be taken from him.
They went to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I pray." And going a little farther, he threw himself on the ground and prayed that if it were possible, the hour might pass from him. He said, "Abba, Father, for you all things are possible. Remove this cup from me, yet not what I want, but what you want."
Jesus' words reflect his trust in God in the direst circumstances. Our next piece of music is also a prayer. It's written by a 19th century clergyman, George Crowley. It too is a cry from the heart.
Spirit of God,
One of the most dramatic scenes of Holy Week takes place when Jesus is tried as a criminal in front of the Roman governor Pontius Pilate, and though innocent, is found guilty.
Now the chief priests and the whole council were looking for testimony against Jesus to put him to death, but they found none.
This story of injustice still resonates today. In 2000, Sandy Nkube took part in peaceful protests against the government in her native Zimbabwe.
Are crushed and crushed fully.
The Mugabe regime, it is very powerful, but our demonstrations were peaceful demonstrations, but which were taken over by the local authority, and they responded through violence. They took me to the police station. We were beaten, and so many things happened. People lost their lives, some disappeared, we never knew where they went. Well, I was tortured, and horrible things happened as well, and it was just horrible. I was in fear of my life. If you've never seen the other side of a human being turning out to be a vicious animal, then you just don't trust anymore. I left Zimbabwe in August 2000, and I came here, I sought asylum, and I got my asylum status. I'm a recognized refugee now. I've managed to make life for myself here, but even though I'm still scared of the police when I see them in the street. I think it made me stronger in my faith, because whatever I did, I said, this thing has to happen for a reason. I suppose God has the answers for everything, and I just put everything in God's hands, and maybe that made me get to this stage where I am today. I felt safe here, and I just thank God every day, to be honest. Every day, even if I don't say it loud and say thank God, I just believe God is there.